We are finally into reveal season for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We have the debut stream from Weekly MTG to show off a bunch of new cards from the set. Hopefully not very many of these were spoiled in the lore 1 pre-release though. Before we dive in, don't forget to get subscribed to the channel for more MTG action like the upcoming Secrets of Strixhaven reveals. The show starts off with lands, but not pizza lands, so maybe these won't be as frowned upon. Next was Turtles in Time, the 7 mana sorcery that sends all creatures back to their owner's hands, allows each player to choose to shuffle their hand and graveyard into their library and draw 7 new cards. Turtles in Time is exiled after it is cast, or targets for Rest in Peace. This chase version of Leonardo's Sewer Samurai with a Kevin Eastman gold signature on it will be available. A 4-drop that can also sneak for another white in the 4, and he allows you to cast creatures with power or toughness 1 or less from your graveyard. They enter with a finality counter on. Also featured is Donatello Mutant Mechanic, a blue 4-drop that can tap to put 3 +1/+1 counters on an artifact you control. And if it isn't a creature, it becomes a 0/0 robot creature. Hopefully something to finally do with all my tokens from Get Lost against control decks. Donatello goes on to say if an artifact you control is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, if it had counters on it, put those counters on up to 1 target artifact or creature you control. Rip if your opponent killed all your artifacts with blight counters. Raphael Ninja Destroyer must be blocked if able, and his ability Enrage says whenever he is dealt damage, add that much red mana until end of turn. You don't lose this mana as steps and phases ends. This seems more thought out than Firebending that's too ambiguous about how the mana expires or not, but I doubt they changed this text in between Avatar and now, because we saw this card before Avatar was released. Michelangelo Improviser can also sneak for an extra green compared to his casting cost. When he deals combat damage to a player, you may put a creature card and or play a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. Nice caveat on his abilities so you can do the creature or the land, but not be stuck if you don't have both. Raphael Tough Turtle feels like a goblin. His Alliance ability says whenever another creature you control enters, Raphael deals 1 damage to target opponent. Then they show that each turtle will come in each rarity, with the uncommon variant of Raphael being Most Attitude, having Menace, and whenever another creature you control enters, exile the top card of your library, and whenever Raphael attacks, till the end of the turn you may play a card exiled with Raphael. Do I have to pay its cost? Probably, I don't know. Tell me how wrong I am in the comments. Gonna get corrected by Commander players again here. Raphael the Night Watcher will sneak and gives your attacking creatures double strike. Mono red is back, baby! Don and Leo Problem Solvers are a 5-drop dual color blue-white creature with vigilance. And at the beginning of your end step, exile up to 1 target artifact you control and up to 1 target creature you control, then return them to the battlefield under their owner's control. So blink 2 of your things. Raph and Mikey Troublemakers are a heavy 7-drop 7/7 with trample and haste. When they attack, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card. Put that creature onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. It rests on the bottom of your library in a random order. The Turtle Van is a vehicle. When it attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature that crewed it this turn. Then if that creature is a mutant, ninja, or turtle, double the number of 1/1 counters on it. Counter doubling on turn 4 might actually be too slow for standard right now, but it accrues for just 1 power. Unfortunately for 9 mana, Krang Utrum Warlord doesn't have 9 abilities, but he does have some good ones. Flying, Trample, Indestructible, and Haste, as well as other artifact creatures you control have Flying, Trample, Indestructible, and Haste. Talk about some beef! April O'Neil Hacktivist lets you draw a card for each card type among spells you've cast this turn at the beginning of your end step. Splinter Radical Rat causes double triggers of ninja abilities you control, and for a blue and 1 you can make a ninja unblockable. Casey Jones Vigilante draws you 3 cards when they enter, but then you discard 3 cards at random during your next upkeep. I hope it's all just mana at this point if you're in red and you already got the 3 you need. Cowabunga lets you look at your top 4 and reveal a mutant, ninja, turtle, or land card from among them, put it into your hand. Then put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. I'm surprised Cowabunga wasn't a keyword ability for the set, but maybe the universes beyond non-believers would riot if they have to say Cowabunga constantly during constructed play. Alliance is one of the keywords for the set, a trigger when another creature enters, and each card with Alliance has its own ability. On Slash Reptile Rampager, it deals 3 damage to each opponent. Slash himself makes a 2/2 red mutant creature when he attacks. Blast enchantments are also returning. Ninja Teen causes your opponent to lose 1 life when a creature you control leaves the battlefield. Level 2 gives your creatures +1/+0 and Menace. Then level 3 gives creature cards in your graveyard Sneak for 4 mana, and you may cast creature cards from your graveyard using the Sneak abilities. If you didn't know by now, Sneak is another new mechanic for the set. You can play a card for its Sneak cost if you return an unblocked attacker you control to your hand during the Declare Blocker step. You'll be able to swing and scoop them up before blockers are declared. Shredder's technique will let you sneak in to destroy a potential blocker or a pesky enchantment. The Last Ronin's technique lets you swap in 3 1/1 White Ninja Turtle Spirit tokens. Pretty useful paired with Enduring Curiosity to slap with 3 turtles and draw 3 cards. Krang and Shredder's Enter or On attack ability causes opponents to exile from the top of their libraries until they exile a non-land card. Then another new mechanic called Disappear can trigger if at your end step a permanent left the battlefield, you can cast one of those cards exiled without paying its mana cost. Just one more win con to the Doomsday Excruciator deck. Mutant Chain Reaction will let you destroy one artifact, enchantment, or creature with flying and make a mutagen token. The mutagen token will let you pay 1 and sack it to put a +1/+1 counter on a creature. The Ooze is a new legendary artifact, makes mutagen tokens when creatures leave the battlefield with +1/+1 counters on. You can also tap it to exile a card from a graveyard and make a mutagen token. It's only 2 mana, so it'll be helpful against some reanimator decks. Leatherhead Iron Gator is another 7-cost haste trampler, so he'll put 2 +1/+1 counters on each creature you control when he attacks. Baxter Fly in the Ointment will grant flying to each creature with a counter on it whenever Baxter enters or attacks. And whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on Baxter. Shredder's Shadow Master will duplicate himself when attacking. Whenever Shredder attacks a player, make a copy of Shredder tapped and attacking each other opponent except it isn't legendary, and sacrifice those tokens at the end of combat. When Shredder deals combat damage to a player, that player loses half their life total rounded up. Electric Seaweed is bringing some spice to the wall economy in Magic. A 4 mana wall with Defender and Haste. When it enters until end of turn, whenever another creature dies, this creature deals 1 damage to each non-wall creature, and you can tap it to do 1 damage to any target. This could kick off a slippery slope of escalating damage, where you can ping something for 1 to kill it, then the wall does 1 damage to everything else and kills something with 2 toughness. The wall does 1 damage to everything again and kills a 3 toughness creature. This will continue until you run out of 4, 5, 6 toughness creatures. A true board wipe is game over, sitting at 5 mana to destroy all creatures, but if you're under half your starting life total, you can cast this for just 3 mana, a nice answer to the aggro decks. Ninja Pizza is an enchantment that turns your food into mana tokens, and it generates a food every turn at the start of your second main phase. Level Up is an aura that puts a +1/+1 counter onto a creature when it enters. And when the enchanting creature attacks, double the number of +1/+1 counters on it. Then if its power is 10 or greater, draw a card. Arcade Cabinet will put a +1/+1 counter on up to 4 creatures, and you can sack a token for 2 and double the number of counters on a creature. High Score is a counter pumper. If 1 or more +1/+1 counters would be put on a creature, put that many +1. And at the beginning of your end step, if you control a creature with the greatest power among creatures on the battlefield, draw a card. Turtle Team Up is going to be a PvE co-op mode to play with others, but not against others. Turtle Track says any number of players search their library for a basic land card and put it on the battlefield. Nice friendly co-op Spider-Man. Michelangelo on the scene is one of the deck leaders in Turtle Team Up. He gets to recur to your hand constantly to keep him coming back to the fight against the super bosses included in this set. April O'Neil, Human Element, makes you mutagen tokens when any player casts an artifact, instant, or sorcery spell. Splinter, Aging Champion, will destroy a tapped creature when he enters. Too bad he doesn't have Flash. When he leaves the battlefield, you and another target player draw a card. The card is written to play well in Team Up, but could be a double-edged sword when used in Commander. Draft Knight will be available again for this set. They are currently the only TCG product left on Target shelves, though, for Loreworn Eclipsed. The Pizza Bundle will be the gift bundle for the set. And with the suspect pizza lands, I don't know if I want these lands or the piss lands from Aether Drift to use to get under my opponent's skin right away. The Jumbo Pizza Dice is pretty cool though, I'm definitely going to use this one. Food Chain lets you exile a creature you control and add X mana of any one color, where X is 1 plus the exiled creature's mana value, and the mana can only be spent to cast creature spells. And here they are, the pizza lands in all their gooiness. The borderless pixel style will be available for some commander cards. This is an interesting direction after using direct screenshots for Avatar and new art plus screenshots in Final Fantasy. They will also be available in Surge Foil only and only in collector boosters. Borderless silhouette cards will be available in foil and non-foil versions. They will also be available in play boosters as well as collector boosters. Source material cards will be available again, using iconic art from the Turtles books themselves. Foils will be in collector boosters only. Sewer frame cards is the treatment that represent your flood of uncommons when opening collector boosters. I do like these better though than some of the recent ones like the web frame. Japan Showcase will be available again with Japanese artists showing their take on different characters. They will be only in collector boosters and also come in fracture foils. Scene cards are available in a 6 and 9 card scene. The 6-card scene is an all-out brawl against the Foot Clan. Then the 9-card scene has different art style and a lot more characters to find. Pre-release is coming up on February 27th, and it will launch on MTG Arena on March 3rd. That's the big show for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Take care.